How you doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal. Okay, so today's game is from Nintendo. And it's an anomaly because unlike most Nintendo titles, this one was developed by a Japanese dev team specifically for the US and European markets. It was published in 1990, and there have been considerable comparisons between this title and the dungeon sequences in the original Legend of Zelda. Today's game is Startropics. Now, Startropics, it follows actually a pretty good storyline. You play as a teenager by the name of Mike Jones. Who? Oh, my bad. But you play as a character named Mike Jones, and he goes to this island to visit his uncle, Dr. Jones, who is a scientist. Dr. Jones has gone missing, and he's been taken by some nefarious force that wanted something that Dr. Jones found in a temple on an island in the South Seas. This sends Mike on a quest to rescue his uncle. This quest leads him across several different islands and eventually into space. And hence the title of the game being Startropics. Well, Startropics, it has an overworld map set up kind of like your typical RPG, but the game is a lot more linear than your standard RPG. The actual gameplay takes place in a top-down 2D environment like the dungeons in The Legend of Zelda, with a lot of platforming involved. So it's top-down, but you're jumping, which a lot of games weren't doing that during the 8-bit console generation because gamers complained about the perspective and all of that. But this game handles those things very well. The development team on this title did a really good job with consolidating a lot of the actions you would do in a 2D game to this top-down perspective. This game features a lot of puzzles, like I said, a lot of platforming, a lot of exploration, especially considering that how linear this game is. So it took the really good parts of the dungeons in Legend of Zelda, added some platforming to it, and then consolidated all of that into a really streamlined package. Another little interesting tidbit about this game was that when the full retail copies, like with the box and manual and everything, it came with this letter. It looked like a piece of parchment, and when you read the letter, just a letter asking Mike to go to this island to visit. Later in the game, there's a reference to dipping a letter in water. What it was that this letter that came with the game, you had to put it in water, and this code would appear on the letter. Now, a lot of gamers now, if they found a copy of Startropics, wouldn't dare dip this letter in water. Spoiler alert, the code was 747. If you got to that point in the game and you ever got stuck on it and you still have your save data, the code was 747. Startropics isn't a terribly hard game to find because it actually was pretty popular. And it was well received by critics, well received by fans. A lot of people just kind of saw it as the natural progression of a title like Zelda. Unfortunately, Zelda 2 didn't go that way, but that's another discussion for another day. Startropics 2 was followed up a few years later by Startropics was followed up a few years later by Startropics 2 Zoda's Revenge towards the end of the NES life cycle, so a lot of people didn't get a chance to play it. If you want to, you can probably find this game in the Nintendo eShop. If you still have your original Nintendo Wii, you can probably find it in under Virtual Console if they're still selling games there. I bought both titles for about $15. Part 2 will probably be a little more expensive than the first game. If you can find it at a good price, complete, I wholeheartedly urge you to do that just so you can have that letter. It's a little interesting piece of nostalgia, as Nintendo really didn't do this with their titles. But Startropics represents a lot of stuff that Nintendo didn't do regularly. And it's one of those things where probably Nintendo should revisit that formula more often if they want to see more commercial success now with their consoles, at least, because handhelds, they running it. This has been the 8-Bit Animal. I'll catch you beautiful people tomorrow.